This is Thomas from Larpbook, and we're here with Eleanor from Empire, and we're going to talk about, well, Empire. Yep. So, to sum up, what is Empire?
Empire has been, we started our first event for Empire in 2013. It is a large festival LARP, and for people who don't know what that is, it's basically like a live-in fantasy epic. So it is a huge sort of confederation of nations. There are so there's lots of different kind of look and feel. There's lots of different cultures, but they all come together under the Empire, and they work together. They're beleaguered on all sides by enemies. So there's a lot going on. So it's not just fighting. There are big battles. There are small battles. There are skirmishes. There are two guys going off into the woods to fight unknown enemies, and hopefully they'll come back. There's also crafting, there's magic, there's songs and stories, there's a whole massive political system. So every territory of each nation within the Empire has a senator. They're appointed by their citizens. There's stuff going on for the priests, so there's a massive sort of synod of priests voting system, and that influences the world. So the great thing about it is, one of my favourite things is that each event, there's probably about 1,600 players. They're all doing their own thing, but every one of them is having an influence in what's going on. And then there's a limited number of sort of downtime things, but they're just sort of select from a drop down. If you have a military unit, you're supporting the Empire, you're doing something else. But there's no big commitment between events. But then you come back next event and you know what happened, or at least you know what you were involved with that happened and what news you heard on the field. And then you come back at the next event and it's like, oh, that meant this happened. So it's a reactive world. So it changes based on what the players do. The players are in control. But we want to empower the player characters to make those big decisions by having the support from us to keep track of what decisions have been made and say, oh, actually, no, you said that this is what you said you were going to do before. Are you sticking by that? Yeah. There's a kind of a base rule in a way that you can't, like the Senate make big decisions on behalf of the Empire, but they can't make a decision which they can't control a future Senate.
Right.
So any future session of the Senate could overturn anything they've done.
Okay, so it's really putting the power back into the players' hands, Absolutely. Basically. They have complete control over what's going to happen.
It's a huge, detailed, rich game world, which is essentially controlled by the players.
Brilliant. So basically, Empire is everything you could possibly want in a LARP, really, when you think about it then.
I would say that. I'm biased.
Well, yeah, I would think so. So how many events do you have in a year, would you say?
We run 4 events a year. So we run one in April, one in June, one in July, and one in September. So they're in the reasonably pleasant to camp in, although we were running an event in the middle of Storm Katie. I wouldn't recommend that to anybody.
Okay, so say I'm a new player and I'm interested in getting into Empire. What's the best way for me to do that?
We have a massively detailed amount of information on our wiki. It's twice the size of the Bible. I wouldn't recommend anybody try and read it all. I haven't read it all, and I wrote some of it. So, have a look at the nations, get an idea of what the basics are for the nations, the look and feel. So look at the front page of each nation if you don't go any further than that. And then once you've done that, that has useful things like 5 things every child should know and what this nation is and isn't. So it's got a bit of a myth-busting kind of thing as well. So it's like, it's not Celts. It might look a bit Celtic, but it's not Celts. These are things you need to know so you don't accidentally, not necessarily get it wrong, but do things that people will find jarring because it doesn't quite fit. And then once you know roughly what nation, we've got Facebook groups, we've got our forum. Get involved, start asking questions. We want people to get involved and ask us things. We have a dedicated new player support team in our crew. So equally, if you're not the kind of person who enjoys engaging with people online, you don't do forums, go onto our website, find their email address, drop us an email, even if you just use our main email, which is admin@profouneddecisions.co.uk. They will direct you on to new player teams, and you can just bombard them with questions. Anyone who has trouble with reading anything that's on the wiki, you want it in a different format, you want to have a chat with somebody on the phone because that works better, talk to us. We really have put a lot of work into supporting accessibility as well. We've got 2 or 3 people who attend the events in powered wheelchairs. We have people who are on crutches. We have people with visual impairments. We have people who have signing. Yeah, so we want it to be as accessible as possible, and equally people have brought their kids from, I think, 7 days old is the youngest child we've had on site. Parents were staying in a hotel, but they were there, and so babes in arms right up to people in their 70s. We have an academy for young LARPers, so that very much is, it's not like school. It is a grounding in the Empire. They are the heroes of the future, and they can become citizens at whatever point they are ready. So you can have our youngest citizens, I think our youngest citizen passed at 6 and has now been playing as a citizen for 3 years, and they're very involved with the game. So we've got young players who are as involved in the game as adults, and in the eyes of the Empire, they are adults.
Yes. So basically what you're saying, if you ever have any questions, just ask them. Just ask and you'll be able to get into the system.
The only
No
stupid
problem.
question is one that you thought of and decided not to ask.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been fantastic. Don't forget to check out Empire.
Yep.
Wherever the website is, I'm sure it's somewhere. Yep. What's the website?
Profouндecisions.co.uk.
There you go, profouндecisions.co.uk. Check them out. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Cheers.